Hello, welcome back to Doing the Most with me, Cynthia Mallard. Yes, we are back. I say it every single week. I am so happy that you chose to live, to be inspired, to be empowered, to just tap in with me, Cynthia Mallard, as we try our best to make the world just a little bit better, right? Each episode, we come to you with amazing people. You know, we have been celebrating women's history, sisterhood a month for the month of March. And let me tell you, I have got a humdinger. I have got a queen of all queens to end out March and to start April, jumping into new beginnings. And I am speaking of none other, everyone, none other than, I got to say it correctly, right? Madame President Soror Tonya Byrd. She is the chapter president of the Marietta-Roswell Alumnae chapter of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Welcome finally to Doing the Most with me, Cynthia Mallard.
Cynthia, thank you, thank you. I apologize. It's taken me so long to be able to get here, but thank you so much for the invitation and the gracious introduction.
Awesome. You know, like I say, here on Doing the Most, I have to run down these amazing and just phenomenal guests that we have been having. I want to make sure, guys, that you also know, not only is she running one of the largest chapters, in the nation of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, but she is also a boss when it comes to the professional career. Tonya is the executive director. She was getting me straight, guys, while we were off air. She is the executive director of care transitions with the huge multi-billion-dollar company, WellStar Health Systems. So did I get that correct, Tonya?
You did get it correct, but I do just want to throw it out there. We are a not-for-profit, so don't want to start any rumors out there that we are all walking around billionaires. But yes, that is my title. Thank you.
Very good. Like I said, we like to have a lot of fun here. We also like to inspire and just uplift, right? We want to uplift. I thought about you, Tonya. I said, you know what? A person, a phenomenal sister, does not get to the position that you hold right now in so many different areas of your life without being who they are. So I just want to start with, who is Tonya? For those of you who don't know, who is Tonya Byrd for right now?
Great question. So, I will start off by saying Tonya Byrd is ATL to the core. Not born here, but definitely raised here. Ever since before I was 1 year old, I tell people I was everything but born at Grady. But I went to kindergarten here in the area. I grew up in East Point, Georgia, southwest.
East Point.
That's right, in the southwest side of the city. Did all of my elementary and middle school education there in East Point, and then was definitely a product of the M to M. I'm not sure if those of your listeners are familiar with it, but it was one of the programs that was introduced in the South back when I was coming up to integrate schools. Wow. And so they would bus African American students from the Black side of town to the white side of town. So I did my high school matriculation at North Fulton High School in Buckhead, now known as North Atlanta High School. So that is kind of just me in short in terms of getting through high school. Went to college in Norfolk, Virginia at Norfolk State University. In Norfolk, Virginia. Had the pleasure of joining the best sorority in the entire universe, Delta Sigma Theta, through the Epsilon Theta chapter there at on the campus of Norfolk State University. So.
Absolutely, we know that it is the only sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We look at it like there is no other.
No other.
I had to throw that in there, of course, but Tonya, I know, like I said, I met you some years ago, just after joining Marietta-Roswell. Of course, entered the sorority through Alabama State University in Montgomery, Alabama. Shout out, it's great to be a Hornet. But I gotta throw that in there.
My nephew's a Hornet. My nephew's a Hornet. He plays football there, so I'm a Hornet. I'm an honorary Hornet.
Absolutely. So, what has it been like? Of course, you hold so many titles. What has it been like managing and kind of rising to lead this great ship of MRAC that it is?
It's been great. It's been great. So I have been blessed to be a leader in Marietta-Roswell for the past 12 years. Like so many, I joined the chapter years ago when I moved back to Atlanta. Depending upon where you are, the geography that you're in kind of sort of dictates the size of the chapters, right? So when I was in Virginia, my chapter may have been 200. And then I moved to Atlanta. My first chapter home was on the east side of town, and they were pretty large, or they are pretty large. And then my husband and I moved to Kennesaw. And for a while, I tried to maintain that affiliation with the other chapter. And I just kind of had to look at myself and say, self, now, with Atlanta traffic, you can't get all the way over there to do service. So just go ahead and dive in. We didn't know anybody in the Kennesaw area. Again, having grown up in East Point, you knew East Point, you knew certain parts of Atlanta, but you really didn't come north of Cumberland Mall.
Wow.
On I-75. So Kennesaw, even though I was native to Atlanta, Kennesaw was still foreign territory to me. But nonetheless, visited Marietta-Roswell, and I tell everyone that I had my back row crew. There was a crew of us in the back row.
Okay.
New to the chapter, and I will never forget, it was one January, the chapter was hosting its rededication ceremony. And at the time, the chair of nominating was Soror-Yvette Harris. She was Yvette Terry at the time, but Soror-Yvette Harris was chair of nominating, and she came to the back row crew and she said, I watch you guys every month, and you sit back here and you take notes and you pay attention, but what are you doing?
Yeah.
And she recruited us to participate in the rededication ceremony. And really, honestly, at that point, I kind of realized that I had been shortchanging myself. Having, again, once I crossed, I was immediately chapter president. I was immediately appointed to the regional leadership team back in my old region, the South Atlantic region. Wow. So I knew better, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was Soror Harris's prompting and prodding me to participate in the rededication ceremony. She saw that I wasn't giving everything that I had to Delta.
Yeah.
And participating in that ceremony just kind of sort of gave me a big slap in the face, kind of like, what have you been doing?
It kind of propelled you, right?
And ever since then, I have been active and engaged with Marietta-Roswell. Always engaged, always active with Delta, but not really connected from a roots perspective to a chapter until that moment.
I'm so happy that you talked about that, just as a woman, right? As a woman in sisterhood, a life of sisterhood, a life of helping the next, woman up to the platform. You're charged with that. In a certain sense, we all are. What's been the hard thing for you? What's been the challenging thing when you are trying to uplift and you're trying to inspire the next woman?
With everything that goes on today, from social media to to the inserts, the implants, to nothing is really what it seems to be. Getting women, getting sorors, getting people to really understand that I am authentically me. What you see is what you get. I laugh, I smile, I joke, I cry. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna tell you, Cynthia, I didn't like it when you did that.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it, and we'll either agree to agree, right? Or agree to disagree, and then I'm done with it. And I will go back and give you the biggest hug, the biggest, chin up, pep talk, you name it. That's me. And so I think that the biggest challenge for me personally that I have is really getting women, sorors, people, as I mentioned before, to truly embrace the authentic me. I think people a lot of times think, oh, she's putting on an act. She's not that direct. I'm like, I tell people I act the same way at work, the same way. I walk in and I laugh and I joke with my team, but they know that I'm serious about getting the work done, and we can have as much fun together, or we can make it really feel like work.
Yeah.
It's really up to them. So I think that's been the biggest challenge, is getting people to embrace the authentic me and really the authentic them.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm only acting the way that I know how to act. And so for them, I want others to act the way that they naturally act. And then we can have a true interaction together. Sounds kind of crazy, but.
Oh, no, it's absolutely very true. Tonya, with MRAC, the chapter was charted in 1986. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so we are sitting here. Are you the 36th president, 35th president?
No, well, I'm so glad you asked. Just so happens my line number is 13. I was 13 out of 35, and I am honored to serve as the 13th president of Marietta-Roswell.
Awesome, amazing. So for those of us who don't know, who are tuned in, and like I say, if you're just joining us, we have the pleasure to host the president, the absolute amazing president, Tonya Byrd of the Marietta-Roswell Alumnae chapter, who is doing the most with us, CynthiaMallard. But tell us exactly what is a day for Tonya Byrd as far as the sorority, and then we'll get into the other side. Okay. You're executive director with Wellstar.
Okay, so a day in the life for me as president, again, I take my job very seriously. I take the honor of leading 1,038 A-type, highly educated African-American women very seriously. Honestly, the first thing I do when I wake up is probably sad to admit, but I grab my phone and I check my president's email to see if anyone has submitted a check request.
It's about the money.
I don't want to delay anyone from being reimbursed for their monies. That's really the first thing that I do. And then from there, again, just from a chapter perspective, it's a lot of follow-up, a lot of phone calls, emails, text messages. Again, we have a membership of 1,038.
Wow.
Just today, I was notified that 4 members have sick loved ones, immediate family members, moms, sisters, brothers, dads. And so I spend a fair amount of time each day either calling, texting, emailing them, just so that they know I hear that there's something going on, and I want them to know that the sisterhood is there for them, and that I personally, for whatever I can do, am there for them as well. Lots of emails. Our chapter is extremely busy. So from, whether it's going in and ordering someone's 25 or 50-year anniversary award, just last night, I was on a call reviewing Constitution and bylaws amendments. So just before I got on the show, I was talking to someone from our technology team about how I can push those changes out to the members so that they can review and then tell me how they want the chapter to vote on those changes at the upcoming national convention. So it really just depends on where we are as a chapter, where we are as an organization at that point in time, right? We are preparing for chapter meeting tomorrow. So making sure that my report is together, making sure that my hair is together, my outfit is together. All those things matter when you're representing the chapter,
What's the most important thing to you? Leading the chapter, leading, like you said, members, over 1,000 members. What's the most important, in your position?
Most important thing to me leading this chapter is making sure the members know that they have trusted the right person to get the job done, who can represent them well.
Is it something that you've always wanted to do? Was it something that you'd always wanted to do?
Yes and no, right? So again, as an undergraduate member, I crossed in April of 1996, and I became president in May of 1996. at the undergraduate level. So in terms of having been a president, I had done that before.
Right.
And I'll be honest, coming into Marietta-Roswell or into any alumni chapter, it wasn't my goal to be chapter president, but my goal has always been to fill a need when I see a void. And not that there was a void in leadership by any means.
Yeah.
Excuse me, in the chapter, because there are 12 dynamic presidents that came before me. In fact, I call them Tonya's angels. I routinely connect with them, ask for advice and guidance in that regard. But just, I have a very strong background in technology. And one of the things that I saw was a void in our chapter was the use of technology. And the only way to really affect change, right, is to roll your sleeves up and to dive right in. And Absolutely. So when you talk about driving that type of change from completely paper to almost paperless, it takes a certain level of person, right, to be able to really push that change top down.
Do you feel like that was your gift? Do you think that was your gift? In life, I feel like we all have superpowers, right?
Sure.
Is that Tonya's superpower?
Sure. I think Tonya, I think that's one of my superpowers. I think the other thing that I'm really, really, really good at is being relatable. Is being relatable. So that's really what was my driver. Is I felt like there was a void in terms of really pushing Marietta-Roswell to the next level from a technology perspective. And so I jumped right in. I started kind of in the executive level ground up.
Yeah.
I served 4 years as a corresponding secretary, responsible for all incoming and outgoing correspondence. And then I transitioned to the chair of membership. And so again, my role was to make sure that all, at the time, 700 of us felt connected and we had fun while we were working in the name of Delta.
It sounds like you've put in the work. I
have definitely put in some work in my time. Those shoes were definitely made for walking.
I wanted to transition. I know that we talk about all your professional accomplishments, but you're an amazing mother and wife, and you have this superstar children who are the future when it comes to sports and technology too, possibly.
I receive all of that, Cynthia. I receive all of that. I will say I have been married to my wonderful husband, who just so happens to be a man of Omega Psi Phi for 16 years. Excuse me, this will be our 17th year.
Wow.
We have 2 amazing, outstanding, beautiful daughters, Lauren and Leah. They both are very blessed to be athletically and academically gifted. Softball is their sport of choice. My oldest has committed to play Division I softball at Queen's University of Charlotte.
Wow.
She is the 53rd ranked player in her class of 2024. And then my youngest daughter, excuse me, is a freshman in high school. And she is currently ranked 6th in the nation in her class of 2026. So we are busy.
Yeah.
We are busy, but I tell people I live and I die by this phone. I tell people all the time, my phone really is a mini computer. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't happen. It didn't exist. So
let me ask you a question. I'm gonna put it out there. Do you sleep with your phone, Tonya?
No, I do not. I do not.
Who knew?
Well, ask. I can tell you some people that you can ask. And it's funny because those that I've served with in Delta, they all know that I'm the early bird. I go to bed. 10:30, I am typically in the bed. But whatever time I go to bed, I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I have lost both of my parents. And so I tell people that when everyone in my home is home, there's no one else important that I need to have my phone on for. My husband's there. My children are there. My mom, my dad, they won't call me. So I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. And I don't turn it off until I wake up in the morning. You have to set boundaries. If you don't set boundaries between my work life, which is extremely busy for Wellstar, between my Marietta-Roswell, my Delta life and responsibilities, they are equally as busy. You will burn out. You will burn out. And so you have to learn when and where to set boundaries and what your absolute no-nos are. And I don't struggle with that at all.
Have you
That is
found,
one thing.
have you found that people, don't like boundaries? Have you lost friendships, or has it affected you in life,
Not to my knowledge. I don't. I am that friend that tells people, listen, if you need to talk to me every day or every week, let's not be friends, because that's not how my life is built. But all of my friends know if they ever need me, pick up the phone and call, send me a text, and I'll drop whatever I need to drop, and I'll be there. So no, I don't think that my friendships or my professional life has suffered because of those boundaries. I think if nothing else, it's helped,
Yeah.
because again, people know exactly where they stand.
Absolutely. Tonya, I want to ask you, like we talk about all of the different things, like all the different hats. I love how you basically told us, listen, you got to stop with all the hats that we wear, as women, even as men, just as people, as humans, we are pulled in so many different directions. Uh, Tell us a time. Tell us a time that you can reflect and that you really care to share with us, where Tonya was almost counted out. There was this one thing that happened, that you felt like, oh, I do not know how I'm going to make it through this. And tell us, if you're still going through it, or you found a way through it.
Sure. So I openly talk about losing my parent. I guess it's therapeutic for me in a sense. Being Working in healthcare, talking about death and loss doesn't scare me, because unfortunately I see it a lot in my professional life. So I will tell you that the day my mother passed away, there was nothing that indicated that we would lose her that day. I had been caring for her. In fact, that's the reason why I moved back home.
Mm.
My mother called me. I was settled in Virginia. I was working professionally. And again, my husband at the time, boyfriend, and I were, together and dating, and we were fine in Virginia. And she called me one day and said, I'm very sick and I need you to come home. And
Mm.
so we packed up and we moved to Atlanta. But fast forward to 2009, we lost my mother the Monday after Thanksgiving that year. Um, because although I knew she was ill, she did not present as someone who was at the end or near the end. And I'll never forget, the doctor at the hospital sat me down. I was there alone at the time. Well, my husband was with me, but my sisters weren't there. He sat me down and said, "Your mother is the sickest patient in the hospital.
Mm.
And I will be surprised if she makes it through the hour." And
Mm.
I looked at him, and I remember kind of having a blank stare, but I was looking here to say goodbye. And once they get here, if she codes again, let her go. And I remember everything about that day. I remember everything about that moment. I can tell you the doctor's name, the color scrubs he had on. I can remember everything. And I remember after she passed, all I remember is my husband carrying me to the car and nothing else until 2 days later when we met with the funeral home. And
Mm.
I remember saying to him, I don't know how I'm going to get through this, because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And again, I don't know what I wasn't ready for,
Mm.
but I just didn't feel like I was ready. And so for me, so I think that's my moment of, I don't know how I'm going to make it through,
Yeah.
but talking about it
Yeah.
definitely helps. Being that person for other people to say, hey, here's my story, here's my testimony, and look where I am. I'm still here and I'm still standing. So one foot in front of the other one.
Mm.
If you can't deal today, that's okay. Don't deal today. get up tomorrow, wake up tomorrow, and try again tomorrow. Try and deal the next day and the day after that. So that's probably the one time, the one moment that I would say I was probably at my lowest.
Wow.
And really just having my family, my friends, my sorors to lean on to help, me wake up each day and put that one foot in front of the other. I try to be that for other people.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting. It sounds like you got to keep going. You got to keep going, keep going. No matter if it's one day at a time, a month at a time,
right.
All the time adds up, right?
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Absolutely. So, Tonya, I know you talked about the challenges and kind of like the different hats that you are wearing. So I gotta ask you this, and I kind of know the answer, but I kind of want to hear your answer. What's the number one question you get from non-sorority members? What's the number one question you get normally?
How do I become a Delta? It is the number one question that I get personally, that I receive via email. Talk about those emails. How do I become a Delta?
And what do you tell them? What is your response?
I smile, and depending upon who it is and how well I know them, I always give them a hug and just share with them. I'm extremely flattered that you're asking me, because what that says to me is that I'm emulating someone that they want to be, or someone that they want to be like. But just be humble, be grateful, focus on the service, focus on the work. And when the time presents itself, you'll know. You'll know. There really is no secret sauce or secret algorithm that if you do this, and this, you'll become a Delta. It's really just putting in the work that your heart is led you to do, and that God has led you to do. Service is in my heart. It is. You talk about it all the time. I'm super busy, right? But I'm like, Cynthia, stay on me. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this done. And I even cancel some stuff to make sure that nothing crept up this afternoon. So for anyone out there that is interested in joining, I say keep service first. Keep service first, because we are all about service and social action and sisterhood.
Yeah.
Be your authentic self, and you will attract and be attracted to like-minded people. If you look around and a lot of your friends don't have friends, then chances are they're emulating what a bad friend looks like. But if you're emulating love and service, and you're in sisterhood, whether it's your biological sister, your sorority sister, or just your homegirl that lives down the street, like-minded people will find like-minded people.
Tonya, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh, probably Tiana. I don't know. What's that? The Princess and the Frog? I don't know. I'm not,
I love it. What's your favorite song? Favorite song?
I gotta give you something. I don't know any other Beyonce songs.
I love Beyonce.
I am the most extroverted introvert you will probably ever meet.
What's the one thing you hate, a characteristic that you hate in other people?
Talk too much. Stop talking so much. No, you don't talk too much, Cynthia. You don't talk. No, I could give you some names of some people you don't know. And I say, go check out their Facebook page. You will know. Just people who just talking, just to be talking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty easy to get along with. I'm very easygoing.
What's your favorite food? Give me a favorite food for Tonya Byrd.
Seafood. You name it, seafood. Anything. I can eat fried fish every day. Scallops, shrimp, mussels, clams, crabs. You name it. Seafood.
I'm with you in that. And Tonya Byrd wants to be known for, I forgot one. What's your favorite color?
Red.
What do you want to be known for across this nation, across the world?
Just kind and loving and fun. Kind, loving, and fun. That's it.
For those who, like I said, amazing. Thank you so very much, Tonya Byrd. Um, for those who want to reach out to you, Tonya, like I said, she wears multiple hats as we all do. This is, like I said, culminating, the wrap up Sisterhood Month, Women's History Month, but we are starting April, right? And so we know that April is a time of just new beginnings. Give us a contact. Give us a contact where we can reach you.
Sure. So again, in my line of business, I work with a lot of agencies across the state. And so I tell people, take my number down. You'll probably find it on the back of every truck stop bathroom door. So my personal contact number, I don't mind sharing it. I don't mind talking to anybody.
Okay.
It's 404-392-7526.
Absolutely. Give us that number one more time, Tonya.
Sure. 404-392-7526.
And we can always reach you also on all social media platforms. Give us those also, as well as possibly email. I know you're on there as Tonya Byrd.
I don't know what I am because the children set it up. I am on there as Tonya Byrd.
Okay.
All of my sites are private, so you will have to request access. So if you request access and I don't grant it, shoot me a text. Tell me who you are. Make sure you're not a hacker, and then I'll accept you.
Awesome. Very good. Well, listen, it is customary here, Tonya Byrd, on Doing the Most with me, Cynthia Mallard. I have to say one thing, and one thing only, and I hope you take it to heart. Soror, Madam President, Tonya Byrd, you are absolutely doing the most with every inch of the time that you have.
Thank you, Cynthia, and thank you so much for the invitation. I love you. I love what you're doing. If there's ever anything that I can do to support you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. But it was my pleasure to be here. This was fun.
Yeah, very fun. Very fun. I love you so much, and I'll see you.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Welcome back. Now it's time for Doing the Most in Action. One of my favorite parts of the show, where we just really take what we have learned, right, in the first part of the show, and we find a way to actually apply it in our real world, right? I want you all to think about your favorite artist. Maybe it's your favorite singer, favorite actor, favorite author. And I want you to think about, why are they your favorite? Why do you say, hands down, they are the best at what they do? Why do you follow them? Why do we say, oh, when you hear their name, you can't wait to run out and see them or consume what they have produced? Do you know the answer? If you don't, I'll tell you. It's because they have found their superpower. They have found the one thing that they are amazing at. They have found the thing that they were born to do, to give to the world. Let me back up. Let me say that again. They have found their superpower. They have found what it is that they were supposed to do on this earth, the gift that they were supposed to give to the world, right? You're thinking, well, Cynthia, I don't think I have a superpower. I don't think I have a gift. Listen, if you woke up, you were able to wiggle your toes, you were able to pick up a cell phone, you were alive, you've got a superpower, and you're walking around with it, and you don't even realize it. It's emanating from the top of your head. It is emanating from the things that you say. It is emanating from your eyes. But again, the things that you produce, right? The only thing that you have to do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge, this is my superpower, and I am going to give it away. I am going to use it, right, to leave the world so much better than how I found it. It doesn't matter. You're probably saying, well, it just depends on the career. No, it's for every single thing that we can think of. I don't care if you're a doctor, a daycare owner, a firefighter, right? If you're human and you're walking around, you have a superpower. Think about it. Animals have superpowers. Look at your cute little puppy or dog. What's their superpower? Being cute so that you continue to take care of them and feed them. This is something I thought about. But listen, I love you. Doing the most in action is about just that, action. What are we doing, right? What are we giving? What are we giving away? What is it about us that's unique that we can give away? That we can give away to uplift the other person. You got it. You just got to find it, okay? If Michael Jackson can find it, Prince can find it, Toni Morrison can find it, you can too. I love you, okay? Don't forget, subscribe right here. You see it, doing the most with me, Cynthia Mallard. We have a good time. We have a good time. And I hope you are having a good time, okay? Again, Cynthia Mallard across all social media platforms. And you can follow us also, doing the most with me, Cynthia Mallard, okay? Until next time, I want you to always do the most with the time that you have. Next time.